So in this WarThunder / Enlisted video, we're going to be talking about something that's pretty interesting. So this is probably not going to be a video that's like normal to the channel. It's probably going to be longer just because I kind of want to go in full detail of everything I'm going to talk about in this video. So you may be wondering, why has Enlisted not been on my channel in a good while now? And to be honest, the real reason behind that answer is very complicated, but here's the like too lazy didn't watch reason. The basics is Enlisted to me has become a game that I don't feel like I can improve in much more than I can now. Like I feel like I'm pretty much at the top of Enlisted, I have a majority of the campaigns towards the end game of stuff that you're supposed to get. I as well as know a lot of information just because I made, content over the game for a very long time. And I feel like that the meta of Enlisted is kind of figured out. It's something that really doesn't change that much with each update. You maybe will have some stuff that comes into the game like the bombardments or like, they nerf cats or they nerf tanks or something like that. And there's a little bit of different changes every once in a while. But for majority of the time, like the meta of Enlisted is very simple. You take something that has high hit power, has high magazine size, and you go to town with it. Even if it doesn't have, the best iron sights in the world, it can still be usable, especially with an Enlisted. And the thing to me, at least, is that I don't really enjoy that sort of gameplay anymore. Like, I feel like Enlisted is still one of the best first-person shooters that's ever existed, especially since, Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2, for example, this year isn't something that's like hit the head on me whenever it comes to like FPS games. And the fun thing about Enlisted is it takes a concept of like, maybe you can't do as well against human players, so they added bots into the game to make people feel better. And I feel like that's something that's really key with Enlisted being a very good FPS game, is because even if you don't have skill, even if you have something, like even if you play on like controller, you feel like that you don't really do as well as other people do in FPS games, you can normally do good against bots, and I think it's really positive. Now, for the reason I've been playing WarThunder is actually pretty interesting to actually talk about as well, because with Enlisted coming out around 2021 and then going through 2022, I didn't like WarThunder at the time. And the reason that I didn't like WarThunder at the time is because they had a focus onto these like modern vehicles whenever it comes to game. And they still have the modern focus to these vehicles. But for some reason, at least to me, I've been enjoying it a lot, going through some of the like not really high tier vehicles whenever it comes to WarThunder, but going through some of the like rank 5 and rank 6 vehicles within WarThunder and spading them out. If you've recently seen some of the Twitch streams that we've done with China, we've been going through China and actually going through like the 8.0 to like 8.7 lineup. And we've been, playing those vehicles, and it's been very, very fun. And I feel like that's something that, at least to me right now, I've been having a blast doing in WarThunder. But in Enlisted, there's not really much I can do left. Like if I spent the time and like Twitch streamed the game a ton, I would just be at the end game, just playing for nothing other than bronze and silver orders. And I just feel like Enlisted is not a game that I personally want to play just to play. Like I enjoy, having accomplishments, going after challenges, going after rewards, and Enlisted is still lacking that. It's been lacking that for a good while now whenever it comes to the game. You still have issues where they haven't updated achievements in a very, very long time. And each one of these events that they put into the game that are like, go shoot the devs or go, just do this like random summer event, it's becoming like, I don't know, not worth doing in my opinion. Like you get some cool profile icons, which is, pretty cool to add to the game. But at the end of the day, like after those events are done, there's still absolutely nothing for me to do with an Enlisted. And I feel like that's a problem that's going to hurt the game a ton whenever it comes to more and more people getting towards the end game of Enlisted. Like for example, right now, none of the campaigns I actually need to buy any premiums for. Like there's like these premiums that keep on coming out. Like for example, the Berlin one with the LMG. There's literally no reason for me to actually buy that premium just because I'm already at the end of the tech tree or at the end of the campaigns with both nations for Russia and as well as Germany. And those premiums just have served no purpose to me. So I feel like Enlisted is just in a weird place right now. Like I'm saying, guys, like don't take this video as like Enlisted's dead or Enlisted is like I don't know, on his last leg or something like that. Like take this video as like Enlisted is a game that for some people is going to be fun and some people it's not going to be. And Enlisted is still incredibly fun. Like definitely if the next update, which is supposed to be high caliber, introduces more and more different things into the game and also introduces more and more interesting things into the game, I would definitely check it out and see how it is. But the thing is that you always have to, have fun with what you're doing. If you're not having fun within a video game, or if you think a video game is, purely against you, or you feel like, this is like a part-time job or even your own job, like take a break, go find something new, go find something different to play, go watch TV, go watch anything. Like just don't feel like you have to play a game just because like it's the only thing ever in existence, because it's not. There's different things you can try. There's different, game modes you can try, especially in like games like WarThunder, for example. If I'm having a bad day in like aircraft, I can go play tanks. If I'm having a bad day in like, I don't know, naval, I could go play aircraft. Like there's just so much stuff you can do inside War Thunder that I think it's a perfect game. Even if some of the stuff in War Thunder is a little bit, you know, I guess what's the best word for this? It's a little bit iffy whenever it comes to like, you know, different BRs and stuff. And if you ever get frustrated, you can just put down the game in general and try other things. Now back to the topic of Enlisted. There's a bunch of things within Enlisted right now that I just don't like or don't like, you know, the gameplay of, especially since it seems like with this new high caliber update that's kind of promoting the use of vehicles, especially since they're adding some of the other features from other campaigns, like the good old bombardment with aircraft, and as well as they're adding smoke grenades and as well as smoke shells to tanks. And if you have any brain cell to guess what would probably high caliber mean, most likely it probably means KV2, maybe even Sturm Tiger, and many of those different vehicles that have the big old 152s, and probably even for like the Pacific campaign, since it was found in like the mission editor, the good old 105 Sherman, which would just own everything Japan ever throws at it. So that one would be also really fun to play as well. But overall, like that's one of the big things that I've had a gripe with for Enlisted for a very long time, is that the game should be focused on the infantry. It should not be focused on the tanks. I know a lot of people want to see like War Thunder but with infantry, and to be honest, yeah, it's really fun to, you know, have you know, you're playing and go rocket or bomb, you know, the infantry, or have your tank that the infantry cannot kill just because it's in a gray zone. Yeah, but after talking about like all the vehicles and stuff within Enlisted, I think another issue that needs to be brought up, and I think this is a huge issue that kind of isn't Enlisted's fault, but at the same time I think that they need to improve on it greatly, and that's just the marketing of Enlisted. So one of the big things that a lot of community members have wanted to see over probably like the past year and a half is some sort of roadmap of what they're going to do in the future. And the thing is about roadmaps is sometimes if you put out a roadmap, it's good, you know, like it shows what's coming to the game. But the other thing is that it's a double-edged sword. The reason it's a double-edged sword is because if you put something in the roadmap, let's just say that you promise modern conflict mode or something like that coming in like 2023, and you know something goes awry or you can't get it into the game, well then you just lied to a bunch of people that, you know, it's coming. You know, a lot of people get kind of mad at whenever games are delaying themselves. You know, sometimes for the better they're getting delayed. You know, for example, a lot of games that are coming out super buggy and all that sort of stuff should be delayed. But whenever you're expecting something and then like it does not come at the time that they gave it, it kind of makes you think, is this something that I should still look out forward to, or is it something that, you know, maybe I should just refund the game, or, you know, maybe quit playing entirely just because, you know, I can't trust the developer anymore. And the funny thing is, a lot of people think this way. You know, some people get hyped up about a new update coming to different games, or, you know, a game coming out in general, and then it doesn't come out whenever the release date says it will, and then it's like, well, what do we do now? And that's kind of something that they need to like figure out. Now, would it be cool if we had a roadmap and everything? Yes, it would be very cool to know exactly what's coming each go around whenever it comes to Enlisted. But you also got to remember this, whenever it comes to roadmap, it's kind of like not beneficial for the developer to actually put them out. And the reason I say that is because the thing about content or new updates to games is that it can hype up the game and then it can revive the game in a sense, right? So for War Thunder's sake, right? So War Thunder's been added some, you know, Generation 4 jets now. You know, there's still speculation on what these jets will be. Most likely will be like F-16, all those sort of vehicles like the Tornado, and as well as, you know, MiG-29. The thing is, they haven't released any information on these jets. So everyone's just speculating. Everyone's talking to their friends about it. Everyone's talking around in Discords about it, wondering which kind of vehicles will come. Now, you can definitely make educated guesses about it like I just did there. But at the same time, it gets discussion about the game. It gets, you know, people talking about different aspects of the game. And it gets more, you know, what people like to call it in the marketing world, earned media, which is just, you know, just people just randomly talking about your stuff. Speaking about earned media, if you made it this far in the video, definitely leave a like and sub to the channel. It is very much appreciated, and we are still trying to hit at least 5,000 subscribers by Christmas, and I really do think that is possible due with the help from you guys. But yeah, after that shameless plug that we did there, the big thing with Enlisted is that they kind of know how to market. Like I understand this, right? So like they're pretty good at marketing, right? They do the, you know, typical sponsor YouTubers or sponsor people who are like in the same area that would, you know, maybe those people want to play Enlisted. But the thing that they're kind of bad at, and the thing that's really not their fault, is that they have another game called WarThunder that pretty much already has everything that could ever come to Enlisted ever. And that's kind of a bad thing, right? So like whenever I was talking about the new update, which is coming to Enlisted, High Caliber, we pretty much know what's going to come. Like you can go look at WarThunder and see which tanks are, you know, got high caliber weapons, like, you know, the ISU 152, KV2s, all of those vehicles, and you can make a very educated guess on what's coming. Now, to be honest, that's something that really doesn't like spark discussion within, you know, different communities for Enlisted. A bunch of people have, you know, started to talk about it a little bit, but overall, people are going to talk about Gen 4 jets way more than they will whenever it comes to a KV2 that they definitely seen before in other games. There's a very big misconception whenever it comes to WarThunder and Enlisted players of some of them not being the same people. And to be honest, from at least my sphere of looking into the game, a bunch of people that also play WarThunder liked Enlisted, but the thing is, Enlisted is another free-to-play game, and free-to-play games are kind of hard to pick up, especially like two of them at the same time, just because of the requirements that you have to do to actually, you know, get everything done in them. But the thing for WarThunder for me, and as well as Enlisted, is they kind of coexisted at the wrong time together. So like we're about to have another update for Enlisted, and we're about to have another major update for WarThunder, and they're kind of just going to be on top of each other, which doesn't give people really enough time to even like appreciate either update, because if you want to play both of them, you kind of have to just do whatever you want to do. And then also other games and other, you know, stuff is happening in real life, especially since it's about to be the holiday season, where more people want to spend, you know, time with their families and everything and not really play that much of video games. So you do have to worry about that a little bit. But yeah, overall guys, like Enlisted is still a wonderful game. Like if you are stumbling across this video and it's like your first time ever seeing an Enlisted video ever, or even a WarThunder video ever, both games are incredibly fun to play. I know a lot of people have a bunch of negativity whenever it comes to both games, and I feel like, you know, that negativity is not really warranted, because everyone has a choice of, you know, just not playing the game and finding something else that you actually enjoy doing. And to be honest, that's kind of what I'm doing right now. Like I'm very much enjoying WarThunder whenever it comes to Twitch streaming it, and as well as making content for it, because it's a game that I've played for over like 10 years now. And if I didn't enjoy it, I wouldn't stay here for 10 years playing the same game over and over. You know, whenever I didn't enjoy it, I went to Enlisted and, you know, tried it out and actually met a bunch of wonderful people along the way whenever it came to doing, you know, Enlisted type content, which was really, really fun to do. Now, I do want to say this, like, you know, my hopes for Enlisted are still very high. You know, maybe once they start fixing some of the issues I have, like the majority of them being just, you know, there needs to be more secondary content within the game. I even made a video about this about probably a year ago at this point, of where I just sat there and I was like, what am I doing in Enlisted anymore? Like, all I'm doing is going into games each game. I'm getting, you know, bronze orders and, you know, silver orders, and I'm kind of just playing to play. Like, I'm not playing for any sort of achievements. I'm not really going after that or anything like that. And I think that's what Enlisted needs a lot of whenever it comes to, you know, making the game more fun, you know, because once you start focusing on the grind, once you start focusing on, you know, what you want in the game. So like, let's just say that you want the Sherman in the Normandy campaign, you kind of just get on the little thing of like, I just need to grind, I need to grind, I need to grind. And that's kind of like a very bad habit to get into within majority of free-to-play games, which are grindy, right? It's because once you start just worrying about the grind, it starts going slower, and then you just get to a point to where you're like, oh, I can't grind out the game anymore. It's just too slow. And you know, for many things, yes, that can be true, but at the same time, whenever you have secondary stuff to go after, like, you know, getting so many headshots, for example, or getting, you know, so many kills with this certain weapon to get some cool stuff on the weapon itself, I think that makes the game way easier to play and way more enjoyable to play, because you actually have progress towards stuff that you want to see within the game. And hopefully we can start seeing more and more stuff like that. You know, I do have very high hopes for Enlisted and as well as WarThunder, and we should see how that goes. So yeah, if you guys have any questions whenever it comes to this type of video, I know this one's incredibly long for the majority of type of videos I make, but this video type is what I like enjoying the most, because I just get to sit here and talk and give you guys what I think whenever it comes to everything. So yeah, hope everyone has a wonderful day, and make sure to check out more videos on the channel.